What's going on, gamers? Today I'm going to be sharing with you the secret to actually improving at Valorant and why it seems like no matter how much you play, you're just not getting any better. And I'm only saying this because I used to suck too until I found this out. The reason that you're playing every single day and still not getting any better is because your practice sucks and you're just wasting your time. You need to be utilizing something called deliberate practice, and in this video I'm going to share with you exactly how to do that. With that being said, let's get right into it. So what is deliberate practice? It is the method that people use to rapidly improve at whatever skill they're trying to master, and it takes into account 4 different key things. Number 1 is that it has to be extremely intentional. Number 2 is you need to be 100% focused. Number 3, you need to be utilizing feedback. And number 4, which is the most important, is refinement. In order to truly improve at the fastest rate possible, you need to be utilizing all 4 of these steps, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that specifically for Valorant. Step number 1, being intentional. What this means is that when you go to practice, you can't just be practicing everything in general. For example, if your idea of practicing is running some aim labs, then doing some death matches, and then going straight into comp, you're not going to improve very fast. Instead, you should be taking some time to figure out exactly what it is that you're struggling with the most. Is it your aim? Is it your game sense? Or maybe it's your movement? When you're playing, be mindful of the skills that you're lacking, and once you identify exactly what it is that needs the most improvement, keyword here, most, solely practice that. You may be thinking, but I need to work on my aim and my game sense. Well, the best way to actually get better at both would be to focus on whichever one you're worse at first. Then once you master that, you can move on to the next one. So if aim is your weakest quality, stop practicing your movement or your game sense or anything else, and instead start to only practice your aim. Run an aim labs or a Kovacs routine every single day. And when you go into your death matches, actually practice your aim and your crosshair placement. Don't just run around trying to get kills. Or if your game sense is the worst, stop running aim labs and Kovacs and wasting your time in death matches, and start doing some VOD reviews on your own gameplay, as this is a great way for you to learn what to do and what not to do. And if your movement is the worst, then don't waste your time in aim labs or Kovacs or doing VOD reviews. Work on your movement only instead, so practice counter strafing, peeking angles, things like that. Essentially, you want to set a goal of what you need to work on the most and stick to that instead of trying to get better at everything all at once. Once you have established your goal or aspect of Valorant that needs to be improved, it becomes time to actually work on it. And this is where the 100% focus comes in. What this means is you can't just be half-assing your practice. If you need to work on your aim, don't just run some random aim labs routine and just spam for high scores and skip half the drills while checking your phone periodically throughout it. Instead, you need to put all distractions away. Set some time and clear your mind and give your aim training 100% focus. If you're working on your movement, go into the range, practice strafing while shooting, jump peeking, clearing angles, and don't just half-ass it, do it for a couple minutes and barely try. And when you go to practice it in death matches, don't just run around trying to get high scores. Instead, be intentional with each game and focus on counter strafing and peeking, and actually do what you're trying to practice instead of just running around and somewhat counter strafing concerned about winning the deathmatch. And as for game sense, if you are VOD reviewing, don't just be watching it to watch it. Start to take notes, focus on what you're looking at, and think about what you could have done better. Not only will this help you improve, but it will also limit the amount of time you need to spend doing it, because you're not just going to be wasting time doing random things as well. Whatever it is that you're practicing, give it 100% focus. So set aside some time in the day to actually work on it, and don't worry about anything else. Step number 3 is feedback. Now, what this means is that you need to be critical with your improvement. So after every single training session, you need to take a little bit of time and see what you did well and what you did wrong, instead of just finishing your training and forgetting about it. What this does is it allows you to prepare for your next training session. So while you're giving yourself feedback, write it down, and when you go into your next session, look at your feedback and begin to work on the things that you still need to do. This will ensure that every single time that you go to practice, you are actually improving, instead of just repeating the same thing over and over again and staying at the same level you were at and getting absolutely nowhere. It may seem like it's more work, but in reality, if you don't do this, your practice will get you nowhere, and in turn, you'll take way longer to actually improve. By taking the time to give yourself critical feedback, you can ensure that you get the most out of every single time that you go to practice. But quickly, before I give you the last and most important step in deliberate practice, what is your biggest weakness in Valorant? Let me know in the comments down below. The final step in deliberate practice is refinement. This is where you take everything that you've learned in the first 3 steps and use it to continue to improve. So after you've given yourself your first goal and you know exactly what you need to work on, and you've given it 100% focus and provided yourself feedback, now you have everything you need to further refine your practice and pinpoint exactly what you need to do next to continue to improve. For example, if you've been practicing your aim and you have been doing aim routines, and after providing yourself feedback, you notice that your flicks and your micro adjustments are really good, but your tracking is terrible. Well, it's time for you to refine your practice even further and focus in on your tracking. And this can be applied to any aspect of Valorant. As you begin to deliberately practice what you need to work on, you will improve. But as you begin to improve overall, there will still be small things that you are lacking. So once you use all 4 steps, you can further identify what you haven't improved yet, refine your practice even further, and focus in on that. If you do this consistently, you will begin to master every single aspect of Valorant and improve at an astonishing rate. Stop practicing everything in general and begin to deliberately practice each thing that needs work, one after the other, and you're going to begin to rank up faster than you ever thought possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you got any value out of this video, or you want to see videos like this in the future, feel free to hit that like button, sub to the channel, and ring that bell notification so that you can stay ahead of every other gamer and unlock your full potential. Much love, guys. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.